Hello and a very warm welcome to all the viewers of 3.2 TV. This is Manoj Dara from ABC-Conclave, and with me is a very special guest from Binance, is Mr. Alex Chehade. He is the General Manager and Executive Director of Binance.
Thank you, Manoj, for having me.
Alex, welcome on 3.2 TV. So Alex, we are talking about Binance and its long-term objective. What do you see? What are the drivers in this Web3 space Binance is looking at as of now? Because market is going through lot of traction as we are standing here. We spoke last year. The scenario was different. Binance has seen a lot of changes. Be it situation in the US or maybe the stablecoin scenario. How is this Binance in Dubai being treated in the Web3 space?
So we're being treated fantastically here. We're given an opportunity by the government here. They have produced a virtual asset regulator, so it's specifically just for virtual assets. We've got a fantastic set of rule books, and we've got now a path forward to build. Now, having that regulatory certainty gives us confidence to build in the region. It gives us the certainty to understand where the rules of engagement are. It builds on a public framework in order for consumer protection. User focus is a big thing for us at Binance. And so we're building for the future. The stability and the clarity is paramount for the growth of the business. It helps with the ecosystem here. We've brought ourselves here, and we've brought lots of players here. So it's a fantastic place for us to flourish.
So Alex, you spoke about consumer protection. I just wanted you to elaborate more on that. Since there are a lot of cybersecurity concerns, there are a lot of deposits which come into an exchange, and Binance itself, what kind of custodial security services the customers can expect once they are with Binance and your ecosystem going forward.
So Binance takes user assets extremely seriously. You've seen proof of reserves. Everything's backed one-to-one. And we have the largest security team on the planet for cryptocurrencies. So we are always developing our security practices. We're always training staff. We're always looking at the newest technology. And that's the advantage the centralized exchange has. As a user, you're not aware of all the best practices. Maybe you're not aware of all the best technologies. And that's why you use an exchange such as us to access the market and reduce the complexity that you need to in order to get involved in cryptocurrencies. It's our job to remove that sophistication and give users comfort. So that's where we are.
So you spoke about the kind of security services which Binance is into, but let us focus upon few sectors to begin with. What's your view on the stablecoin sector? So since we are talking about a lot of projects being tagged with stablecoins and hence the US dollar correlation. So what do you think is the roadmap for this sector going forward?
So the cryptocurrency use cases are becoming more defined. So you're using one use case of stable tokens. So with regulatory clarity now, we're seeing that issuance of stable tokens is generally the domain of central banks. And so they've now understood that this is something they need to regulate, and they're working towards it. In the UAE here, Central Bank of the UAE has said any AED stable token within their purview, and that's very well understood. VARA has an issuance rulebook where it talks about other denominations of stable tokens. So as the crypto market's developing, we're seeing the different use cases, and we're understanding more about it. Like 5 years ago, these were not as well defined, and so the ambiguity led to some of these issues. But now we have a path forward.
Since we're talking about a lot of ambiguities and the uncertainties being shifted away from this segment, talking about the DeFi space, and we have seen a lot of things have changed since the time FTX big concern has happened, and Binance has also moved forward from there. So how do you see the DeFi scenario in this situation? You personally spoke really well about this sector, this segment. How do you see this sector going forward?
So it's still really early days for DeFi. It's still an exciting experiment, but it's still difficult to use. The user experience isn't great. It's complex. You need to understand about gas fees. You need to you're battling with quite sophisticated players. So it will really develop in maybe a couple of years. Once the wallet solutions become cleaner, we're looking at things now called account abstraction. I mean, you don't really need to understand how to use it, but you need to use products that have these tools to reduce the sophistication, and then you can transact. But there's a use case for both, like DeFi and CeFi. It's the same if you go shopping, you can go into a store or you can use a classified ads to Visual or whatever. There are two different types of use case.
So all right, Alex. Since we're talking about a lot of sectors, NFT is something which we have seen. The volumes have come off highs, roughly around 90%. Down from the top level which we have seen. What is the big concern in this segment? What's your view? How to pump prime this sector? And there are a lot of investments that have come in this sector. As Binance, as an advocate of the Web3 and to take things in the right manner forward, what is the solution for this sector?
So as we now become more accustomed to NFTs and understand what we should do with them, NFTs give a unique ability for content creators to administer and look after their content and monetize it. It gives them a better way of engaging with their communities. The initial sort of flash in the pan was still lots of uncertainty. It was still as an experiment. And so going back to crypto is still an experimental phase. The fact that it's in the public zeitgeist and people can interact is different to how these kind of products are usually developed in closed loop scenarios, and once they become mature, they're released to the public. Whereas cryptocurrencies are already out and we're experimenting real time. So, the experiment is still going on, and we're understanding better ways of using NFTs, and we're seeing big companies come use NFTs, and so this is the next step. We're seeing engagement and content creators utilizing NFTs for good.
So Alex, you spoke about, there are a lot of experiments that are going on. BlackRock and Fidelity, they have applied for the ETFs. We know that, Bitcoin ETF is one of the big game changers for this entire sector. But why do we need ETFs, filing from the BlackRock or the Fidelity? They can go ahead and buy from anywhere, physically. As we're talking about inside in the panel discussion as well. What is the main objective behind this, and how do you see this? If this goes through, will it be a big boost for the entire sector?
Well, they actually can't just buy spot because as they're regulated, there are rules for what they can and can't buy, and ETFs are a product they can buy. So it needs to be packaged due to the governance of these funds. The big fund managers are allocating into crypto because that's how modern portfolio affiliate works. Yeah, it's diversification. So it's institutionalizing the marketplace, and it's bringing the product to more people. And so that's just going to have better effects for everyone.
We are into the last segment, and you spoke about women empowerment inside. So what is the main objective of Binance towards maybe driving in this women segment? How much women's you see that are trading on the Binance?
There are less women trading on Binance than men. I think that's the same across the board for trading platforms. However, at Binance we have a pretty healthy split of men and women. Most of the senior management within the global Binance business are women, and so I think that gives us two sides of the coin. As we were discussing in the panel, it's better to have both voices in a room. It's better to have people discussing from different viewpoints, and Binance definitely feels that way, and we're pushing to equalize the workplace.
Fantastic, Alex. And one last question. Since we are talking about cryptocurrencies, Web3 segments, we spoke about a lot of sectors that are, actually responsible for this Web3 scenario. How do you see the technology? I'm talking about the blockchain technology use cases being adopted going forward? And what is your suggestions or last comments for our viewers about this technology, as far as you yourself have the Binance Academy, and we have also learned from it. So how do you see this technology going forward on the educational front?
Well, so blockchain gives us a unique advantage that we can have secure, transparent, peer-to-peer transactions, and it really will disenfranchise a lot of third parties that don't add value. So third-party transactions sometimes add value. Brokers do add value when they're doing work for you, but in the financial services, we've seen a bit of bloat, and we've seen opaque nature of these institutions. And so with blockchain, we can really remove some of this bloat, and that's only going to be good for the economy. But we need to educate, as you say, and so people need to understand how they work and what the use cases are. So.
All right, thank you so much, Alex. You spoke really well about the entire sector, women empowerment, and the road ahead is blockchain. Alex, thank you so much, and I wish Binance all the best for the future roadmap and targets going forward. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.